So in the beginning of June, I was doing some analysis on NVIDIA, and I spotted a key level at the $115 level, post-split, of course, or 1150 pre-split. I shared this analysis with you guys on X, which was on June 7th, and I shared this analysis with my group in a little bit of greater detail, of course, on June 10th. And I shared that I would be looking for, in the future, whether short-term or longer-term, I would be looking for a pullback to the $115 level for potential retest long entries. And just yesterday, you guys saw NVIDIA pull back about 17% from the highs to that $115 level, which was the exact level that NVIDIA has now moved up over 10% off of, just about $10 per share. Today, I went ahead and I entered that opportunity with some call options for next week expiration, doing what I said I would do in my analysis, this resulting in a monster trade today, up over 40-50% to end today on next week contracts. This goes back to trusting your analysis, setting up an analysis, waiting for that analysis to come to you, and acting upon it. A lot of people will look for pullbacks on the market. They will get tunnel vision once that pullback actually starts to come in, and they will be scared to actually execute on that trade plan. This pullback on NVIDIA was something we needed to take advantage of. We cannot be scared of pullbacks. We've been talking about this on the channel. This was a pullback into a key level that we have been waiting for us to retest, and we saw that reaction higher off of it today. And in today's video, I want to break down the technicals behind this trade, why I continue to hold it, some key levels that I will continue to focus on to decide whether I want to continue to maintain this position. As of right now, a fantastic entry and a fantastic trade. Let's go ahead and break down the technicals and really define why this was a trade that I was so interested in the beginning of June. So as you guys saw in the intro, this is our Discord community where we post analysis every morning. This is our Desi TA section, daily analysis, and this was back on June 10th at 7:33 a.m. Here is our NVIDIA analysis right here. And you can see this area right here is right around right here on your charts, guys. So just sort of to line it up for you, I'll move this over. You can see this right here, this area is right here. So you can see what happened post and in the short term and in the long term after our analysis there on June 10th. We said our commentary here was, would love to see NVIDIA trade lower into the 115 level. A perfect break and retest long entry. Let me go ahead and move that back over. A perfect break and retest long entry to be looking for there, right? But at that time, we weren't quite there, right? Let's go ahead and zoom in on this chart. We were not quite there at that time. 115 was back here, which you can see if I go ahead and move this over, 115 was right here, right? So we never quite got back down to that level. So the trade that we were looking for here in our analysis never quite set up, right? We said we'd love to look for that pullback, but we didn't quite get it yet. We've been holding lows of 118 and highs of 122. If we hold over 122, we'll likely move higher once again, right? And so that was our analysis back then on June 10th. And what we can see here on NVIDIA was we did break out of this previous major high at 115 right here. We pushed higher, right? We can see right here, we pushed higher to the upside. And what you guys know, if you watch this channel, you know we love to look for that retest of that breakout point, right? So I wanted a retest of 115. We had 115 rejections, which we saw very clear. And I wanted a retest of that level after breaking out for that next long entry. In the short term, we never got it. You can see NVIDIA maintained higher, maintained above around this 118 level, 118, 118, 118, and we never got that true pullback to 115, which I was looking for. Now, we talked about if we get over 122, we would continue higher, and that is pretty much exactly what NVIDIA did over the next following week, week and a half. Now, as NVIDIA moved higher and continued to stay frothy to the upside, right, there was eventually that gap up day, that sort of blow off top day. You guys saw this on Thursday of last week, which really started to cause that downside pressure. We broke an uptrend, which we were holding. You can see right here, we had this uptrend that was sort of holding to the upside. And eventually, on Thursday of last week, we saw that break and we saw that downside continuation. Now, the first thing that came to my mind during that pullback was, where is the opportunity, right? We've been wanting a pullback. And so let me go ahead and go full face on this, because this is our first little psychological talk of this video. You guys know I like to throw in some psychology in these videos. Everyone your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters, every trader that you know, whoever you talk about the stock market says, man, NVIDIA is so overextended, it needs a pullback, right? And I want to look for a pullback for an opportunity to long this stock. But here's the problem. When it starts to pull back, you no longer think about longing it. You get scared, right? You get emotional. This is all natural, okay? I'm not saying that it's wrong to think this way, but this is our natural human tendency. It starts to pull back. NVIDIA 17% off the highs. Oh my God, NVIDIA is going to go to zero. I can't believe how aggressive it's moving to the downside. And now I want to short it, right? So previously, you were thinking about pullback longs, looking for those key levels for us to pull back to for that long entry. And now, at the first sign of weakness, we're looking to short the stock, okay? You gotta stay on one side here, right? You can play both sides if you are short-term trading on the intraday, right? If you're, I even shorted NVIDIA last week. So I still had that longer-term analysis in my mind, remembering what's that level I want that pullback to, remembering that sort of longer-term analysis, which was our 115 level. I was shorting it here and there on the intraday, took some profits, had some trades, but I didn't forget about our 115 level, which was that pullback long that we talked about in the beginning of June and was the opportunity that I have been waiting for. And you guys have heard this plenty of times from people online, from me, from other traders. Let the trade come to you, right? And so I've been patiently waiting here with my hands off the mouse, waiting for this NVIDIA pullback to come in and trying to spot where that next long is, because I know that there is going to be opportunity in that. And this is exactly what happened the last 2 days, and I love to see it. So you guys can see right here, we'll jump into the technicals, we'll stop talking about the psychology, but I hope you can sort of understand what I'm trying to get across here. You have a retest level, you're looking for a pullback. You want that pullback for long opportunities. Don't forget, right, what that original plan was. Make sure you're understanding what levels we're at and what levels can hold. Of course, you can trade both sides. I'm not saying you can't, but there's always going to be an opportunity in both directions, whether it's short or long. And in a pullback, in a market that's holding important levels, there is going to be long entries. And at our key level, of course, we saw that 115 that we've been waiting for get tested perfectly last night on NVIDIA. So let's go ahead and dive down into the short-term time frames. Let's dive down into the 15-minute chart, and let's take a look at this TOS. Why is TOS not working? There we go. All right, so here we go. TOS, a little bit of delay there. 15-minute chart on NVIDIA, right? And so let's go ahead and start here, okay? So before we get into the 115, let's go into the journey of how we got here. How did we get to 115? Why was NVIDIA moving lower over the last few days? And I'm going to go ahead and break this down in terms of market structure and stair-stepping downside, right? So here we go. Let's go ahead and review this on the 15-minute chart and talk a little bit about why NVIDIA was continuing lower until today. There was a very important flip that happened today that you had to spot to understand why or how it could move back to the upside. So we're going to start here at our 133 level. We had a breakout of these highs at 133 and a gap up. On that next day, on Thursday, we came back down. Now, in the stair-stepping upside move, which we were in, right? We were in this stair-stepping upside move, previous highs turning into new lows, right? Previous highs into new lows. We were in that stair-stepping move. So if we wanted to continue in that stair-stepping move, we needed to hold above 133, right? We needed to turn these previous highs into new lows. That did not happen, right? That was the start of where this market structure flipped bearish. So right here, you can see previous highs that needed to turn into new lows here. That was a must. It's been doing that on the ride higher. Let's look at the ride higher here. Previous highs, new lows. Previous highs, new lows. Previous highs, new lows, right? See how that was stair-stepping higher? This move failed it. And these previous highs turned back into highs. And what started to happen here? Previous lows turned into new highs, right? Lows into highs, lows into highs, lows into highs, and lows into highs. Look at how clean NVIDIA stair-stepped to the downside over the last 2 to 3 trading days. So you can see right here. Here's highs, here's lows. The next day's highs were at the previous day lows. The next day's highs were at the previous day lows. The next day's highs were at the previous day lows. And the next day's highs were at the previous day lows. That is a stair-stepping downside move, which we started to spot on NVIDIA. So if we are looking at this downside move, right, we're going to be spotting, okay, NVIDIA is moving lower. It's in downtrending bearish market structure. We're coming down into key levels, and we have come back down into our 115 demand. Now, this is what started to get me interested in NVIDIA today, and I'm going to sort of set this up really quick for you guys. It was right around this 120.50, 121 area. I'll go ahead and put that on the charts really quickly, and here is why it started to flip. This is where the NVIDIA flip started to happen today. First of all, we know that this is a 4-hour major break and retest. That's number one. Let's go ahead and start there. So let's talk about the 115 level. Here's your 115 level. You can see it very clearly. This is a major 4-hour level that you had major previous highs at here that have bounced, or that we pushed higher off of, pulled back into, and now have bounced off of. You can see that is a very major 4-hour level at 115. So that got me interested. And you already knew, like we talked about in the beginning of this video, that I started to do my analysis on that 115 level about a month ago. Now, let's go into the 5-minute chart and let's spot what NVIDIA did today that was so crucial. Right here at 120.50, 121, right in there. You can even call it 120 if you'd like, but I had a 121. So I had it right around here, right around 121. On the day prior, on Monday of this week, we had a double top high at the daily 20 SMA. That was very clear, right? A double top high at the daily 20 SMA, which continued to have that market structure move lower. That moved into a 115 major demand level where we saw a major reaction off of and a lot of buying stepping in. Today, on the intraday, if we zoom into the intraday here over today's price action and yesterday's price action, today, what we saw was a resiliency on NVIDIA to hold above 121, which was the previous day double top rejection. That was where my mind started to spark some interest, right? And so if I go to the Discord, you guys can see right here in the Desi Swing section, this is where I went ahead and I took that trade. You can see right here, I just took NVIDIA July 5th, 122 calls, right off that 121 level on the chart. Why was I interested in longing it off that 121? Because that was the first sign of a flip in structure. Previous highs into new lows right there. And I said, okay, this is my opportunity to potentially long off that 115 4-hour level and have a structure flip, right? I've seen the first flip potentially at 121, previous highs into new lows. That's all I wanted to see. And I know we're coming off that 115 demand. Now, a good entry and a good continuation. What kept me stay in the trade? What has kept me in this trade on the intraday? What happened later in the day on NVIDIA? Well, you got that hold of 121 and you pushed to the upside. You pushed to the upside into our 125 supply level, which is, let me go ahead and show you right now, our 125 supply level is right here. Previous lows, and previous highs, right at 125. So today, you pushed off 121, got above 123, and hit into a 125 supply, where we saw a rejection intraday. That rejection intraday, right here at 125, pulled back and held above these lows, 123. Held above that previous intraday high, 123. And if we zoom out, let's go to the 1-hour chart, and let's take a quick look at where else 123 pops up. Let's go to the 30-minute chart. Let's zoom out. Let's get more time. And let's take a quick look at what the meaning of 123 is here. And this, again, just all goes back to understanding the levels and the importance of the levels on your chart, right? Really being in tune with what these levels mean. So 123, guys, if we look at this 30-minute chart and we go all the way back here to the beginning of June, let's take a quick peek at what 123 meant. 123, failed, rejections. 123, rejections. 123, rejections. When we got above it right here, big push to the upside. Look at the importance of 123 back here in the beginning of June. Now, we know 123 is a level, right? Now we know that, from our analysis. Take a look at this. Intraday today, look at that hold at 123. That was the perfect hold. That kept me interested in holding that stock for more upside. 123, also back from the beginning of June, and right here, 123. So I saw this stair-stepping upside start to form, right? I went from a stair-stepping downside move to the potential of a stair-stepping upside move, and that is the confirmation that I need to hold a trade off a major demand, and now I can just watch these levels and continue to monitor if they hold or if they reject. So moving forward, right, now it looks like in the after hours, we're right above 127. So what am I looking for now, right? We got above 125. We held the 123. We got above 125. If we reject 127, I'm looking for a pullback, and I'm looking for a hold above that 125, which could be that next stair step level. If we hold above 127, I am looking for 127 to hold as that next stair step level for my next push into my next supply at 129.50. And I'm looking for that stair step to continue here until we're at all-time highs, right? So if we continue to turn these levels into new lows, right? Look at how these levels have stair-stepped higher now. If we continue to do this, I will continue to hold. Previously, we had these levels reject, 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 and now we're seeing these levels hold, hold, hold. And if I continue to see these break and retests over these key levels, and I continue to see this stair-stepping move continue, I will continue to hold from my entry today at that 121 level. I hope you can understand how this structure is working here on NVIDIA. I hope you can see how these levels are so important to pay attention to on how to read this move to the upside, but also how to read it to the downside, right? Last week, there was some insanely clean short opportunities on NVIDIA if you just paid attention to previous day highs, previous day lows, right? Look at this. Previous low, new highs. Previous low, new highs, right? See how that stair step was setting up? And now, what are we looking for here? We're looking for that to do the same exact thing, but now to the upside, right? That is market structure. That is watching these key levels, reacting to them, trading off of them. And overall, this right here is called the break and the retest, man. The break of a major rejection, the break and the retest. The retest coming back to major supply, back to previous rejection points, holding that as support, and looking for that longer-term analysis to set up. Even on the daily chart, we can see NVIDIA pulled back to that previous level, held it right there, right? And now we're looking to see if this thing continues higher. I'm very excited to see where this goes. I wanted to go ahead and share with you guys the analysis behind my trade here, talk about why I went ahead and I held it overnight, why I entered it, what was that longer-term idea, the key levels that are on the charts. I hope you can understand this technical analysis as well as this market structure lesson that we talked about in this video. If you guys enjoyed it, please press that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel. You guys know we talked about this in the pre-market live stream, so shout out to you guys that come to that pre-market live stream. If you caught NVIDIA today, congratulations, up about 7% today. Looking forward to see where this goes. All I have to do now is monitor my levels. If we start to break back under them, I take the trade off. If we continue to hold, I continue to hold. I follow the structure on the market, which as of right now is continuing higher. The last thing I want to point out, guys, and the last major reason why I've continued to stay long here, and you guys know this if you pay attention to the live streams, is because the S&P 500 is still holding above these previous highs. So if you guys have been paying attention to the live stream, you know we've been talking about these previous highs turning into new lows, and that is still holding on the ES. And as long as that goes on, I believe there is a bias to move to the upside. As long as the previous highs in the market are turning into demand, which has happened over the last two trading days, as long as that's valid, I continue to stay long NVIDIA with that market confirmation. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you want to trade live with me every day, see my swing trades, see my day trades all live, go ahead and check out the Discord down below. And I hope to see you in the next one. Peace out.